Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Lauren here at Just Believe. Another video, and this video is going to be slightly different but similar to the previous ones. Today we're going to talk about how to protect your liability. So you've been getting into trading a little bit more. You've been, hopefully watching a few of my other videos and watching a few other videos of other guys out there. As I said before, we're talking about how to protect your liability, sports trading on Betfair. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to protect your liability or your bank. I mean, it's the same thing. For those of you, again, who don't know, we in the whole trading world and match betting world, sports trading, all of that stuff, we refer to the money that we use in order to place our trades as our bank. And when we have put a trade on, the money that we've put up for that is known as our liability. So I'm going to show you how to protect both of those today. I'm going to show you how to create a free bet. I'm also going to show you how to create profit regardless of the outcome. So if this sounds like something that is useful for you, or you'd like to find out a little bit more about, please take a moment to smash the like button down below. Alright, so moving on. So there's nothing left to say, but let's get started. Alright, so what is liability? It's the guarantee that you're putting up to place your trade. So if you lose your trade, you lose your liability. So basically, you're not going to be able to make money without using money, if that makes sense. And that money that you're using is what's known as your liability. So for argument's sake, if you were working the lay the draw, so as you know, I've been doing a lot of videos on lay the draw recently. If you were to lay the draw for a £10 stake at odds of 2.0, that means your liability would also be £10, and if the match were to end a draw, you would lose that £10. So as you can see on my screen here, although to be fair, I'm at the time I made the video, I didn't have a lay the draw position to show you, so I've used the over 1.5 goals. But the point I'm making is when the lay odds are at 2, for argument's sake, and you were to put a £10 stake in, it means to make £10 you have to risk £10. You've got to risk this £10 here, okay? And that's just to give you an example. It would be exactly the same regardless of what the odds were. And so how do you protect your bank? Well, you limit the amount of time your liability is exposed in the market. Really important thing, unless your strategy permits this. So what do I mean? If you have a strategy where, let's say for argument's sake, you are laying the draw and you are only waiting for one goal to go in order for you to cash out or exit the market or make your next move, then you've said to yourself that you're only going to limit your time in the market up until a goal is scored. Yeah. Some people, once the goal has been scored, they stay in the market because their strategy is that they're waiting for 2 goals to be scored. Yeah. So whatever your strategy is, you should always know that you want to limit the amount of time your liabilities in the market. If you're playing the market to the end, so you're going to wait until the final whistle, then technically speaking, you wouldn't necessarily have limited the amount of time that your liability has been in the market unless you came into the match very late on. If you started at the beginning of the match, then basically your liability is going to be in there for the full 90 minutes, unless your strategy is all about being in the match for 90 minutes. I would suggest you limit the amount of time that your liability is in there. Also, you need to limit the amount of time that 100% of your liability is exposed in the market. Okay, so what does that mean? That means reduce the liability over time. Make sure if you leave liability in the market that it's at a good value. So I'll show you an example of that. I'll show you an example of all of this in a little bit, but this is just the sort of theory behind it all. So for argument's sake, if you've got a £10 liability, you've left that £10 in the market, you've left it in the market knowing that if things go your way, you get your positive movement in the odds, you could make £30. So that would be a good value proposition to do. And also, and lastly, to create insurance trades. All right, so what does that mean? It means you eke out profit between the two trades. So if you lay in the draw, you could be back in the 0-0 or back in the 1-1 or back in the 2-2, depending on, you know, where you are in the match at the time. But by backing the correct score market, you are creating an insurance for yourself, which basically means if the match does finish a draw, you still walk away with a decent, if not a good position, or you would have a bigger liability loss if both trades fail. So if you do the insurance trade, so you lay the draw and you back the 1-1, if it's 0-0, then you would lose on both markets. So you do need to be aware of creating insurance trades, but it is a way that you can protect your bank. I'm going to talk about how to create a free bet. So remove all of the liability from the trade is how you would create a free bet. As you can see from the little screenshot I've got below, I've got a £5 stake on against Mainz winning. This is a match that's just played very recently, and if you look to the left here, directly underneath where it says Mainz, this was my opening trade. This allowed me to put a £5 liability to make £24.50 if either it was a draw or Bayern Munich won. Now, what I could have done here on the right hand side, you can see that if Bayern Munich had scored a goal, the odds would have gone up to 1.3. Hopefully I'll at some point be able to show you how I knew that. And if I'd put a stake in of 16.69, which is less than my overall, well, it's more than my overall stake, but less than what I would have stood to make overall, it shows you that I would have taken my £5 out and I'd basically have a free bet. Yeah, there's none of my money at risk, but if Bayern Munich win or if it's a draw, I make £7. That's what we call a free bet. And the way you create it is you place the opposite to your opening trade for an amount up to your original stake. And when I say stake, I don't actually mean the bit that would have been in red, I mean the bit that would have been in green. Okay, so you place the opposite trade to your opening trade. So we laid the draw in the beginning, so now what we're going to be doing is backing the draw, and we do it for an amount that is up to the amount that we would have made with our first stake. Okay, so what I did was I did 16.69, which is obviously less than the 24.50 that I would have made in the beginning, but it means that by doing that at those odds, I would have taken out all of my liability. There'd be none of my liability, and I would have made £7, as I said before. The only thing when you do it like that is when you create the free bet is that there's no green on Mainz if they go to win. And if you think about it, it's 86 minutes on the clock in this example. Mainz are 2-0 up. The likelihood is that they are going to win. So you'd want some green on here. So that is also something you can do, but I'll talk about that a bit later. Okay. So how to create profit regardless of the outcome. So to do this, you're basically placing the opposite to your opening trade for an amount up to your original stake, like I said just a moment ago. The key here is though that you need enough green to play with. So ideally you want to be doing this after you've had a positive movement in the odds. Okay, if you do it when you're not green and it's red, as I spoke about earlier, you can still reduce some of your liability, but it's just not a good position to be in. You might as well just cash out for the loss. Really, it's probably easier to do that than it is to try and reduce your liability when you're already in a losing position. But when you're in a winning position like this, and you can see here we've got £7.52. I've already done it. This is just obviously a still picture of me having taken all of my liability out and left something on the draw as well. So this means whatever happens, I will walk away with a minimum of £2 profit. Alright, so you can only do this if you've got enough green on your opening trade that allows you to place the opposite bet and move some of that green over. Yeah, and I've redistributed it within the market to make sure that whatever happens, I've got a profit. Okay, so time for some action. I'm now going to head over to some live action and you can see all what I've just been talking about in real life. Okay, so this is an Australian A-League match, Macarthur FC and Melbourne City. It's about 56 minutes in and I'm just thinking about getting into the market. I've been tracking it for a few minutes now. So here you can see I've gone in for a £10 stake with £17 liability at odds of 2.7, and I've done that at 56 minutes. Yeah, the idea of this was to be able to show you what you can do once a goal goes in, and you shall see that we've got the goal now. It was scored by the favourite, which was Melbourne City, which means that we're going to get a higher movement of the odds when the favourite scores. And now you can see it's £4.36. If I was to cash out now, that's what I'd walk away with. It's moving at the moment because the market hasn't settled. But what you're going to see me do here very shortly is protect my bank. I'm going to show you, you know, what it's like in real life to protect the bank. And this is all again down to the strategy that you're doing. Not all strategies require you to, you know, try and remove your liability in the trade. But here you'll see I'm back in the draw at odds of 6. And by doing that, I think I put £3.55 on that. I've taken all of my liability of £17 out and ensured whatever happens, I'll make a profit. So this match actually finished 1-1. And then this match is Metz PSG. I spotted this opportunity, saw it was 1-1. I thought, oh dear, PSG, they're not going to be, you know, I very much doubt it's going to finish 1-1. So I've gone in here with a £10 stake, liability of 24. Funnily enough, just as I was about to put a bit more in, goal already, look at that. I knew I should have put more on. Very quick, simple, easy, £8. Now, I have a matter of seconds, and I'm guaranteed a profit. I can actually switch off now and move on, and know that I've made at least, £8. Nice. And there are some examples, some real live examples of how it works in practice, protecting your bank when sports trading. So if you found some value in this video, you know what to do. I hope you enjoyed those live examples and found value in them. That's basically what it looks like in practice when you're protecting your bank in play whilst you're trading. And if you'd like to see some more videos like this, or if you've got some suggestions for other videos you'd like me to record, please do put it in the comments below. Do the usuals, like and subscribe, help me grow the channel, help the videos reach more people, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Alright everyone, bye for now.